Okay, this is just to give a quick update on what's currently going on in our situation with the ministry and our children in care. There's been many concerns that we've had about our children, and we've taken it to the ministry and to the government, and there's been no responses on these issues that are really, really serious. Our daughter has, during time in care, has received bruising on her arm 6 times in the pattern of fingerprints. That has not been addressed. She's also had bleeding rashes on her neck due to being rubbed with Velcro bibs for long periods of times, rashes on her arms, on the back of her legs, and I've had to call public health and even the ministry after hours to try to get medical attention for our children for high fevers when they've come to visit, vomiting and sick. As well, there's been extreme weight loss problems with our oldest boy especially. He lost 5 pounds this last week. He's not eating properly, and he actually weighs less than when they took him 2 years ago. Our children have been receiving punishment that's been unreasonable. They've been getting cold showers in one of the homes for not eating their dinner, spankings when they were 3 years old, timeouts in dark closets. They have nightmares they tell us about now, and our 4-year-old is now blocked in a crib, so he can't get out at night for help. He's also been hit on the head with a hammer, I'm assuming it's a toy, as punishment for his behavior. They've been left with a male babysitter that we don't believe is approved while the caregiver went on holidays for weeks. There's been one incident when he fell down the stairs, and the ministry said, well, there's baby gates on the stairs. But then at another meeting, we were told they lived in a rancher and there was no stairs. And our boy said he was rushed to the hospital in an ambulance for that. They've been slowly taking away our access times, and now the latest as well is we're not allowed to give them any love notes or cards to send home with them. We're not allowed to help them eat. They're only 4 years and 2 years old. We're not allowed to help them use the washroom, and actually nobody at the visits are allowed to help with those 2 items. And we're not allowed to talk about their past life, all the happy times we've had, or the future. They said that they need to have loyalties to their new foster home, and they're confused because their loyalties are with us, and the ministry wants to break that. So again, they're making access time hard, and actually I had a job that I was going to be teaching, and the ministry has set visitation time at that time, and they refused to change it. And
we're not allowed to give them hope. We're not allowed to give them love letters, love notes, birthday card. If we give them a birthday card, it has to be approved by the ministry before we're allowed to give it, just so that the content is approved. We're not allowed to talk about their past and their future, as Beth said. We just have to talk about what's now.
Yeah, and the other thing important to us is they're not in Christian homes. They do not attend church in our family, and our parents as well have always been attending church and brought up in Christian values.
My son came to me the other day with tears in his eyes, and he was scared because he thought that if he did something with his skipping rope, he would have his head cut off and he would die. And this is coming from a 4-year-old.
They're allowed to view violence on TV, movies that we would never have allowed them to see, and storybook contents that we would not have allowed in our home.
Violence.
And pornography as well, they have told us. Okay, one more item that currently happened is when they were left with the male babysitter while the caregivers were on holidays. Bayne came to visit one time, and his ear, he said someone had pinched and twisted his ear, and it was bleeding, the skin was ripped, and you could see bruising around it, and it was not cared for. And what happened was over the next 2 weeks, we saw the infection spread, and it went down his face and neck and inside of his ear as well, and he was pussing, and it was red and very, very bad. And eventually they did get medication. It's gone down now, but he also had a huge gouge taken out of his finger that looked like it went down to the bone. No stitches were given, and he was really concerned with that, as were we.